begin now with breaking news.
Now at 5, that breaking news. Glide's renowned co-founder and minister, Reverend Cecil Williams, has died. He was 94 years old. Thank you for joining us here on KRON 4 News at 5. I'm Noelle Bello.
I'm Ken Wayne. Cecil Williams led the church for 6 decades, just recently passing the torch to Dr. Gina Frommer. Glide released a statement saying he passed away in his home in San Francisco, surrounded by his friends and family.
Reaction to his death is pouring in this evening. We do have KRON 4 special contributor Pam Moore joining us over the phone right now. Pam, thank you for calling in and speaking with us about your relationship with Reverend Williams. I know you've done several stories. Most recently, you covered the end of his leadership there at Glide back in December. When you heard this news, tell us how you're feeling this evening.
You know, profound sadness. Even though, he was 94 years old and he's been sick for a while, you still, when someone like that passes, someone who's meant so much to our community, to our entire Bay Area community, but certainly San Francisco, it makes you feel sad. It's a loss. But he's left such a deep footprint that there are many who are following in his shadow, following in his footsteps. So.
Tell us about his time in the city. He started Glide, I believe it was back in the 1960s, and led it through, a lot of turbulent decades, a lot of change in San Francisco. What has been his effect on the city? Ken, and you've interviewed him, and all of us who've been around for a while have interviewed and talked to Cecil Williams and been to Glide Church. I mean, there's no way you would not be here any length of time and not be there. And San Francisco is a city with a history of people who have big personalities and people who know how to wield power and make things happen. And Cecil Williams was one of those people. He knew how to make things happen. I always considered him a warrior minister. He was like a social justice warrior. But the thing about him, he was always using love as his strength. His thing was, I love all people. All people need to be treated fairly. All people need to be treated the same. All people deserve to have meals and have a place to live. And he used love as his strength to make his power. He built his power on that message of love.
Well, and I think, for me, a relative newcomer to the Bay Area, only been here 5 years, you hear about Glide, and at first you're like, oh, well, it's a church. But then you really get to understand all of the different events that they put on, all the different people's lives that they touch. The Thanksgiving meals, the Christmas meals, the events that they do. And I think you're right there. Like, he helps people figure out where they can lend a hand as well. I think that's important to inspire other people, right, to lend their hands as well.
Well, people of power and people with no power would come through Glide and come through regularly. He was the kind of personality who he made you feel that his message of love was real. And so he showed that by opening the doors of the church to everybody. It was, that's considered common now under some circumstances. But back when Cecil started doing that, in the Tenderloin, that was not the common thread, even of Christianity. It was still a lot to reach out to all races, all people, no matter their sexual orientation, their color, their economic level, whether they were on drugs. Glide opened the door for everybody, and that was Cecil's mantra. In fact, when you mentioned the 60th anniversary, when we got a chance to talk with him last year, he said that one of his quotes to me was, I want to make love the mantra of my life. And I think he did that. But he was a firebrand, too. He wasn't any pushover by any stretch of the imagination.
But you referenced that. He did things that nobody was doing at the time that we all take for granted today. His acceptance of the gay community very early on, when even at church, if you were gay, going to a church, that was not common. That was, a lot of churches weren't as accepting as they are now about that. That alone was a huge breakthrough for the gay community in the city.
A huge breakthrough, not only in the city, but as you know, across the state and then across the nation. He would push the envelope, but push it for what he felt was right and what was righteousness. And I think that will he will forever be known in San Francisco and beyond for that, because he was a leader in that area in particular, Ken, as you know. And then the fact that all the other things that they did in terms of opening the doors of the church. If you've ever been to the Sunday service, the rousing choir, mixed with everybody, white folks, black folks, Latino, all races, all, just everybody. And it's just a joyful noise unto the Lord, as they say.
Yeah, you couldn't help but be inspired. If you ever had the chance to go to a Sunday service at Glide with the gospel choir on the stage, you didn't have to be a religious person to feel something special, something very spiritual, and feel this just overwhelming sense of joy, happiness, and love that he was trying to pass on to everybody around him.
Yeah, he was a fighter too. He would push the politicians. And of course Jan gave, when he married Jan, and she became so much a part of his leadership there. The two of them, they knew how to wield power. I think that was a hallmark of their ability to get things done. He was an influencer of his time.
Yeah, power couple for sure. When was the last time you saw him, Pam? Was it when you did your special with him back in December?
Yeah, that was the last time, and we weren't even sure that he was going to be well enough to come to that celebration, July 60th anniversary celebration, because, his health has been up and down for quite a while, and Jan had passed, so of course that was a big blow. But he did come, and boy, the audience, if you had just seen how they just wrapped their arms around him with love and stood and gave him a rousing standing ovation, and he was on stage just kind of soaking it all in. And this is really when he was handing the baton, so to speak, to Dr. Frommer, because Glide now wants to expand its whole mission beyond just the Tenderloin. It's known for working in the Tenderloin, and many of us have done those Thanksgiving, volunteered on Thanksgiving, handing out the dinners and whatnot.
Right.
Now Glide wants to do more of that kind of work throughout the city, because post-COVID, there's so much more need.
We were looking at pictures of him with Nancy Pelosi, Mayor London Breed, and you go back through history of all the politicians who basically would kiss the ring of Cecil Williams to get his blessing, right? I mean, that was, you had to have his support if you were going to be successful in San Francisco politics, right?
Yeah, Dianne Feinstein, every governor's candidates for president, Barack Obama has been there. He had, and it wasn't, again, it was his message of love. I know, he had a powerful personality for sure, and he, held people to a high standard. But he was a very loving man, a very compassionate person. And I think that meant as much to people as his leadership skills.
Well, Pam, thanks for joining us. We want to, they're having a live news conference that is about to start at Glide. So we're going to hear in just a moment more from Glide about what's going on. But Pam, of course, we know you had a special relationship with Reverend Williams.
Is there any moment in particular that stands out to you over the course of the last, you were here obviously 3 decades and have done many stories with him. Anything that sticks out in particular, a story you want to share?
Well, the moment that really sticks out for me, Noel, is the last one that I had with him, because he knew he wasn't well, and he said, he knew he was looking at his legacy. And I think he felt quite proud of what he had done in the city, what he had done in the Bay Area, and for the nation. And he was very reflective himself. He was very soft-spoken at that moment because his health, he wasn't really strong. But he was determined to be there, and I think he was just soaking in the fact that he had done a lot, and he wanted his legacy to be about love.
When he would have his holiday food giveaways at Glide, and the line would track around the block for blocks, hundreds, thousands of people would go there to get a free meal and a gift bag of groceries and so on. And, if you ever have the chance to be there to help serve, it has a deep effect on you as a person. Just, it kind of brings you down to a human level, one-on-one, where you forget about the cost of living and just your own lifestyle and what you're wrapped up in with your own jobs and your own day-to-day living, and you are there face to face with people who are so much less fortunate, who need a little help. And it changes you when you go there and you come out of that just spending an afternoon or an evening serving up mashed potatoes and turkey and all of that. You come out a little bit different.
Yeah, I agree. And most of us have done it. And even if you haven't done it at Glide, if you've done it somewhere else, it's the same message. He just wanted, it originated from what his heart was giving to San Francisco. But look how it's spread across to so many other places that are doing similar things. And again, I think that is part of his legacy. And now they do toy giveaways. They have classes. They have healthcare clinics and all kinds of things that are well beyond the bounds of just a Sunday morning service.
All right, Pam, we're going now to Minister Marvin White at Glide, who is speaking right now. So thank you, Pam. And we're going to join this news conference live that's underway, celebrating the life of Reverend Cecil Williams.
Is and was that it is about the work still. So we can grieve and mourn, but we can't lose sight of liberation. It's even more visible now because of his passing.
How many years have you worked together with them? And when, immediately does some of that work flash, through your head?
Yeah, I think it's important that we frame the Right Reverend Cecil Williams' work upon his arrival here in the 50s and his immediately opening up the doors of the sanctuary to women, to poor folks, to sex workers, to black folks, to brown folks, to early queer organizers, on, and that door just kept opening wider and wider. And we continue to do that work. I think the genius of Reverend Williams is that he knew that there would always be someone coming in each generation. Beyond crack, now there's fentanyl, but we know that we need to be here because he taught us that someone else is going to come. We'll need our services, we'll need our spiritual support, we'll need our social justice support, and we'll need our social services as well. So that work continues on.
Can you talk a bit about your personal relationship with him?
Yeah, he was a larger-than-life figure. I was an intern here while completing my MDiv in seminary and got a chance to work with him as an intern. And he was just amazing. And when I became senior minister, I went to him and I said, Cecil, they want me to fill your shoes. And he absolved me from that responsibility. He said, I need for you to be you, and to understand that where you take it is where we're supposed to go. And so that was my relationship with Cecil. I call myself the love child of the Right Reverend Cecil Williams and our beloved now literary ancestor, Janice Mercatani. She was a poet and he was a black charismatic preacher. And here I am, a black poet preacher in this church. And the reason I know I'm supposed to be here because I've never pastored a church before. This is my first pastoral run. And out of all the people who could have and wanted this assignment, he saw me. And I think that's the gift of Cecil, that he saw you.
And what sort of, it's only been a couple of hours.
Yeah.
We're just now speaking about him in a past tense.
Yeah.
What is that like, and what sort of hole do you imagine might be left behind, and how can that be filled?
Yeah, I think a figure that big will leave a hole, but what I know to be true is that Cecil took up less and less space as he was passing away. When I was here as an intern, Cecil was still on his feet, still agile, and then Cecil was using a cane, and then Cecil was using a walker, and this last iteration of his body, Cecil was in a wheelchair. So his space got smaller and smaller and required us to fill it more and more. And so it's big, but it's manageable because he was stepping aside and demanded for us to step up. So we're going to step into that space, not to displace him, because he left it for us. So he didn't leave a hole. You know, he left a space for us to come into and lead.
When's the last time you saw Cecil?
Oh my goodness. He was here on Easter.
We've been listening to Minister Marvin White there at Glide Memorial speaking about his relationship with Cecil Williams, who passed away earlier today. Something beautiful he said was, Cecil just always saw you for you, which I think is a really good testament to who he was.
Mayor London Breed just released a statement about the passing of Cecil Williams, saying in part, Reverend Cecil Williams was the conscience of our San Francisco community. She goes on to say he led with compassion and wisdom, always putting the people first and never relenting in his pursuit of justice and equality. His kindness brought people together, and his vision changed our city and the world. We'll have more after this break.